3,000 years ago, Chinese physicians began documenting a pharmacopoeia that would become the largest in the ancient world. Not hundreds of plants, thousands. By the time the Shenong Benko Jing was compiled, around 200 BC, Chinese medicine had cataloged over 365 herbs with specific classifications for toxicity, potency, and preparation. That was 2,000 years before the first pharmacology textbook was written in the West. And here is what should get your attention. In 2015, a scientist won the Nobel Prize in Medicine for a discovery that has saved millions of lives. She did not invent a new chemical. She found it by reading a 1,600-year-old Chinese medical text. We will cover exactly what that herb is at number 14. That is not folklore. That is a modern Nobel Prize built on ancient Chinese observation. And by the way, if you like content that uncovers what ancient medicine actually got right, backed by modern science, hit subscribe, because what we are about to go through gets even more surprising. This is educational content, not medical advice. Always consult a qualified healthcare professional before using any herbal remedy. Today we are covering 15 Chinese herbs that modern science has confirmed actually work. Stay until the end, because number 15 comes from a Chinese legend about an old man whose gray hair turned black again after he discovered a single climbing vine. If you are new here, welcome to the Green Domain, where ancient wisdom meets modern science. Let us begin. Number 1. Ginseng, the king of herbs. Ginseng, Panax ginseng, is the most valued plant in all of Chinese medicine. The Shenong Benko Jing placed it in the highest class of herbs, meaning it could be taken daily to promote longevity without causing harm. For thousands of years, wild ginseng roots were worth more than gold by weight. Emperors sent expeditions into the mountains of Manchuria to find centuries-old wild roots, some of which sold for the equivalent of a small fortune. The older the root, the more potent it was considered. A 2018 review in the Journal of Ginseng Research compiled evidence that ginseng contains over 40 ginsenosides with confirmed neuroprotective, immunomodulatory, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and anti-fatigue properties. Multiple clinical trials have shown that ginseng improves cognitive function, reduces fatigue in cancer patients, supports immune response, and may improve blood sugar control in type 2 diabetes. The king of herbs lives up to its name. For traditional preparation, sliced ginseng root is simmered in water to make a decoction. Standardized extracts are available as capsules, typically at 200 to 400 milligrams daily. Number 2. Astragalus, the shield of the body. Astragalus huangqi has been used in Chinese medicine for over 2,000 years as the primary immune tonic. The name huangqi translates to yellow leader, referring both to the golden color of the root and its leading position among tonifying herbs. Ancient Chinese physicians prescribed astragalus to strengthen what they called defensive qi, the body's protective energy against external pathogens. A 2016 review published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology confirmed that astragaluside 4, the main active compound, has anti-inflammatory, immunomodulatory, cardioprotective, and neuroprotective effects. Clinical studies have shown benefits for cardiovascular health, kidney function, chemotherapy recovery, and resistance to common respiratory infections. The ancient Chinese called it the shield. Modern research is confirming exactly that. Astragalus root is traditionally prepared as a decoction by simmering dried slices in water or soup. It is also available as capsules and powdered extracts. Number 3. Goji, the fruit of longevity. Goji berries, Lycium barbarum, were mentioned in Chinese medical texts over 2,000 years ago in the Shenong Benko Jing. Traditional use targeted the liver, kidneys, and eyes. In Chinese folklore, there are stories of villages in the Ningxia region where people regularly lived past 100 years, and the common factor was daily consumption of goji berries that grew in local wells. A 2019 review in the journal Molecules compiled evidence that goji berries contain Lycium barbarum polysaccharides, zeaxanthin, carotenoids, and other antioxidants with confirmed benefits for eye health, immune function, and metabolic markers. Clinical studies have shown improvements in vision, particularly for age-related macular degeneration, and increased macular pigment density after sustained use. The ancient Chinese said Goji protected the eyes. Modern ophthalmology agrees. Dried goji berries can be eaten directly, added to teas, or used in soups. A typical daily amount is around 30 grams. Number 4. Ginkgo, the living fossil. And this is where Chinese medicine connects to something extraordinary. The ginkgo tree, Ginkgo biloba, is the oldest surviving tree species on Earth. It has been unchanged for 270 million years. This tree existed before flowers, before mammals, before dinosaurs walked the Earth. And somehow, it survived the extinction event that killed most plant species on the planet. Chinese Buddhist monks planted ginkgo trees around temples for over 1,000 years, noticing that they lived for centuries and remained resistant to disease. Traditional Chinese medicine used the leaves and seeds to treat circulation problems, memory decline, and respiratory conditions. A 2020 Cochrane Review analyzed multiple randomized trials and found that standardized ginkgo extract, EGB 761, showed cognitive benefits in patients with mild cognitive impairment and dementia. The active compounds, flavonoids, and terpene lactones, including ginkgolide B and bilobalide, improve cerebral blood flow and protect brain cells from oxidative damage. A tree unchanged for 270 million years contains compounds that protect the human brain. Ginkgo extract is typically standardized to contain 24% flavonoid glycosides and 6% terpene lactones. Studies have used 120 to 240 milligrams daily. Number 5. Reishi, the mushroom of 10,000 years. Reishi, Ganoderma lucidum, known in Chinese as lingzhi, was reserved exclusively for Chinese emperors for the first 1,000 years of its documented use. It was considered so precious that commoners were forbidden from consuming it, and possession by ordinary citizens was punishable by law. Reishi appears carved into imperial furniture, painted on temple walls, and embroidered on royal robes. It was the symbol of longevity, power, and divine favor. The ancient Chinese believed that eating reishi could extend life by centuries. A 2016 Cochrane Review found preliminary evidence that reishi may enhance immune function in cancer patients undergoing conventional treatment. Additional research has confirmed that reishi contains beta-glucans, triterpenoids, and polysaccharides with antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, anti-tumor, and immunomodulatory effects. The mushroom that Chinese emperors kept for themselves is now available worldwide as one of the most studied medicinal fungi on Earth. Number 6. Licorice root. The great harmonizer, licorice, gankao, appears in more Chinese formulations than any other herb. The ancient texts describe it as the great harmonizer, added to virtually every prescription to balance and enhance the other ingredients. A 2015 review published in Biomolecules confirmed that licorice contains glycyrrhizin with antiviral, anti-inflammatory, hepatoprotective, and antimicrobial effects. Clinical studies have shown benefits for peptic ulcers, respiratory conditions, and viral hepatitis. An herb added to nearly every ancient prescription turns out to have measurable medicinal properties of its own. Number 7. Dong quai, the female ginseng. Dong quai Angelica sinensis has been called female ginseng for over 2,000 years because of its central role in women's health. Chinese medicine prescribes it for menstrual problems, menopausal symptoms, and postpartum recovery. A 2013 review in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology compiled evidence that dong quai contains ferulic acid and ligustolide with estrogenic, anti-inflammatory, antispasmodic, and blood-building effects. Clinical studies have shown benefits for menopausal symptoms and menstrual pain. 2,000 years of use by Chinese women. Modern science confirms they were right. We are past the halfway point, and the remaining herbs are where Chinese medicine connects to some of the most fascinating modern research. Number 8. Schisandra, the 5-flavor fruit. Schisandra, Wu Wei Zi, literally means the fruit of 5 flavors because it is simultaneously sweet, sour, bitter, pungent, and salty. Ancient Chinese physicians considered this remarkable and prescribed Schisandra as a tonic for the entire body. A 2017 review in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology confirmed that Schisandra contains lignans with hepatoprotective, adaptogenic, and neuroprotective effects. Clinical studies have shown benefits for liver function and exercise performance. Number 9. Cordyceps, the mountain warrior. Cordyceps has one of the strangest origin stories in all of Chinese medicine. It is a fungus that grows from the body of a caterpillar high in the Tibetan mountains. The fungus infects the caterpillar, kills it, and then sprouts a fruiting body from its head. For centuries, wild cordyceps was so valuable that it was worth more than gold per gram. Tibetan yak herders noticed their animals became stronger and more energetic after grazing on meadows where cordyceps grew. Local people started harvesting it, and Chinese physicians adopted it into traditional medicine as a treatment for fatigue, kidney disorders, and respiratory weakness. Cordyceps entered the global spotlight in 1993 when Chinese runners shattered 3 distance running world records. Their coach revealed they had been training with a regimen that included cordyceps supplementation. Modern research has focused on cordycepin, the active compound. A 2020 review in the journal Biomolecules confirmed that cordyceps has antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, immunomodulatory, and anti-fatigue properties. Clinical studies have shown improvements in exercise performance, oxygen utilization, and tolerance to high-intensity training. Number 10. Salvia miltiorrhiza, the red sage. Danshen, Salvia miltiorrhiza, is one of the most prescribed herbs in modern Chinese cardiovascular medicine. It has been used for over 1,000 years to promote blood circulation and treat heart conditions. In modern China, Danshen is so widely used for cardiovascular disease that it appears in hospital protocols alongside Western pharmaceutical medications. Injectable Danshen preparations are used in Chinese hospitals for acute coronary events. A 2018 review in the journal Chinese Medicine compiled evidence that Danshen contains tanshinones and salvionolic acids with cardioprotective, anti-inflammatory, antiplatelet, and neuroprotective effects. Clinical studies have shown benefits for coronary heart disease, stroke recovery, liver fibrosis, and chronic kidney disease. Number 11. Rhodiola, the golden root. Rhodiola, Hongjing Tian, grows in the high-altitude regions of Tibet and Siberia. It has been used for centuries to combat fatigue, altitude sickness, and cold stress. A systematic review published in 2022 in the journal Phytomedicine confirmed that rhodiola extract significantly reduces symptoms of stress, fatigue, and mild depression. The active compounds selidroside and rosavin have measurable adaptogenic and neuroprotective effects. Number 12. Rehmannia, the kidney herb. Rehmannia glutinosa di Huang has been used in Chinese medicine for 2,000 years for kidney and liver support. A 2017 review in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology confirmed that Rehmannia contains catalpol and iridoid glycosides with anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and blood sugar regulating effects. Clinical studies have shown benefits for diabetic complications and osteoporosis. Number 13. Bupleurum, the liver herb. Bupleurum, chai hu, has been used in Chinese medicine for over 2,000 years, primarily for liver disorders and emotional imbalance. It is a central ingredient in the classical formula known as minor Bupleurum decoction. Preliminary evidence from animal and clinical studies suggests that Bupleurum psychosaponins improve liver function markers in patients with chronic hepatitis B and may reduce hepatic fibrosis. An herb prescribed for the liver 2,000 years ago is now being studied by modern hepatologists. Number 14. Sweet wormwood, the Nobel Prize plant. I told you at the beginning about a Nobel Prize. Here is the plant behind it, and the full story. Sweet wormwood, Artemisia annua, known in Chinese as Qinghao, was documented in a Chinese medical text written around 340 AD as a treatment for fever. In the 1960s, during the Vietnam War, malaria was killing more soldiers than combat itself. The Chinese government launched a secret research project, codenamed Project 523, to find a cure. Chinese scientist Tu Youyou was assigned to lead the search. She and her team reviewed over 2,000 ancient Chinese herbal remedies. After hundreds of failed experiments, she found the breakthrough in a Chinese text written by Ge Hong in the year 340 AD. The text described using Artemisia annua for intermittent fever, with one crucial detail. It specified soaking the herb in cold water, not boiling it. Tu realized that high heat was destroying the active compound. She changed the extraction method, and it worked. She isolated the compound and called it artemisinin. Artemisinin-based therapies are now the World Health Organization's first-line treatment for malaria worldwide. They have saved millions of lives, particularly children, across Africa and Asia. In 2015, Tu Youyou became the first Chinese scientist to win the Nobel Prize in Medicine. She was 84 years old. An ancient Chinese text written 17 centuries ago led to a modern Nobel Prize and one of the most important drug discoveries of the 20th century. That should change how the world looks at traditional medicine. Number 15. He Shou Wu, the herb that turned hair black. The name of this herb translates literally as Mr. He has black hair, and it comes from one of the most famous origin stories in Chinese medicine. According to legend, there was a sickly old man named Mr. He, weak and gray-haired, who was given the root of a climbing vine by a Taoist monk. After consuming it for several months, his hair turned black again, his vitality returned, and he lived to over 100 years old with a full head of dark hair. The plant has been called He Shou Wu ever since. He Shou Wu Polygonum multiflorum, also known as Fo tea, has been used in Chinese medicine for over 1,000 years to support the liver and kidneys, promote hair growth, and slow signs of aging. A 2015 review in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology compiled evidence that He Shou Wu contains stilbene glucosides and imodine derivatives with antioxidant, neuroprotective, anti-aging, and hair growth promoting effects. Laboratory studies have shown it can stimulate hair follicle cells and increase melanin production, which lends some scientific plausibility to the ancient stories about restoring hair color. Important warning: He Shou Wu has been associated with rare cases of liver toxicity when used in unprocessed form or high doses. Traditional Chinese preparation involves steaming the root with black beans for 9 cycles, which significantly reduces its toxicity. Always use properly processed Fo tea from a reputable source. The ancient Chinese told a story about an old man whose hair turned black. Modern research now confirms that this plant actually does affect hair pigmentation and follicle health. Not the immortality legends had claimed, but enough to suggest the story was not invented from nothing. And that completes our journey through 15 Chinese herbs that modern science has confirmed. From ginseng in the hands of emperors to Artemisia annua winning a Nobel Prize, Chinese medicine represents the largest continuous pharmacopoeia in human history. Over 8,000 plants have been documented in Chinese medical texts across 3,000 years. Modern research has barely scratched the surface of what those texts contain. But what has been tested is consistently validating what Chinese physicians observed over millennia. And the story of Tu Youyou should fundamentally change how the world views traditional medicine. A 1,700-year-old text saved millions of lives because one scientist took it seriously enough to read it carefully. How many more breakthroughs are sitting in those ancient volumes, waiting for the next researcher to open the page? If this changed the way you think about Chinese medicine, subscribe to the Green Domain, because next we are investigating the plant medicines of indigenous cultures, and the results are going to shock you. Drop a comment and tell me which Chinese remedy surprised you the most. And if you missed our Greek, Egyptian, Ayurvedic, and biblical videos, all the links are in the description. Ancient wisdom, modern proof, real results. I will see you in the next one.